Harem, harem, harem. Deku has a harem. Only problem, they are a bunch of crazy. Deku is getting more girls falling for him, even though majority of them are crazy. Chapter 105 is an all-out action chapter with physicality and well use of intellect. While I still don't know Shikazu high school girl name, she is quite something else. This chapter was a load of fun, continues to show why Deku, being smart, can work in a battle shonen manga. Everything is still the same in terms of how the system works. However, when it comes to the protagonist being a smart guy and more intellect used, more so than use just pure power of action, is actually interesting to see how he has to overcome. That's not just about power, but it's just about the overwhelming numbers of enemies he has to go against. Shikazu, high school girl, is rather amusing character. It's funny because the earlier time I didn't really care too much, but I was still a bit interested. Now I'm fully interested, and yet we don't know her name. I wonder when we're going to find out the name. Maybe the next chapter. I'm hoping so, because she is actually pretty interesting. The way her combat is really well executed. The fact that she can have an intimidation of wanting to know of Deku. She is that obsessed to wanting to know Deku, his personality, his goal, what is his mindset, is rather intriguing and yet at the same time creepy. But that is the fun part of this chapter. Basically, she's a yandere in some form of way. I really like how this battle between these two wanted to know what exactly was her quirk, and that gets to the ending is actually an interesting piece. Deku is being targeted by many of the other enemies, and that's actually more fun. I really like the scenery of all these craters, of all the climate of these characters are in a one combat zone. Go to show you that the battle is always moving forward, is always things happening, and it feels like a war environment. With Deku being the protagonist, it's always interesting and it's always fun to see how much he has developed. In terms of development, a lot of protagonist does go well, but in his case, it's always about in the mindset. And when it comes to the mindset, it's always about what to do as a future hero, of wants to do as a guy who wants to save his friends, and that is to never push himself extreme to the point that he cannot able to protecting them, and how much he does not want to use the idea of going 100% on a one for all power. Now it's like it's finally seeing more evolution to Deku's, not only a step away from all might fighting style, but as well as developing his own, used more of the intellect, where we see Deku in this chapter, not only he would not use 100% until he's fully ready, it is more of him using the smart way of how to escape and avoid any more problems without having resorting to fight them with everything he got and then some. This is really a showcase of well developed. He is now thinking more thoroughly, and he's taking his more time rather than rushing everything. And not only that, but also developing something that he is accustomed to rather than something he dreams to be in a very carbon copy way. This is a really well done chapter in terms of showcasing how much Deku stands out more so than a lot of shonen protagonists, or at least in the shonen jump protagonists in the battle manga wise. We always seen the loudmouth never give up, and Deku does have that critique minus the loudmouth, but he has other things that actually shows us we could relate to them, because not everybody is going to be that energetic, not everybody is going to be that smart, but at the same time it's the right balance of smart and somebody who has been coming from just a normal level of heroic standards. I like the last part of the chapter because it intertwined with the beginning of the chapter. Uchaku was in trouble and Deku has to come to save her, only to find out that Uchaku is not really her, instead is that crazy girl. What I like of how this chapter did was to actually deceive a lot of audience, including myself, for a brief moment until the obvious betrayal was about to happen. The fact is, I like how they incorporated with the beginning of showing Uchako thinking of what to do next and make you believe that this is her doing the part that wants to help Deku, only to find out that's not really her. They got you thinking that it is truly her and she needed saving. And it's a good thing, because I guess a lot of people will probably be thinking, oh great, Denzel in distress again. That's the whole part of the plan. It was smart of Deku to actually see through the imposter, because it goes to show you that he has so much knowledge of his friends to the point that he could read the imposters, trying to see of how much movement, how much of their personality, and how much of anything that sticks out differently from the real self. So I really like the fact that it goes to show you the knowledge is power. It's really sticking out. I really like this girl because her quirk seems to be not based on speed, based on copies. It is a possibility that she can copy anything, not just a person, but it could be a rock, a pebble, anything. I could be wrong about that, but it could make a lot of sense in how she blends in and how she turns herself invisible when it comes to fighting against Deku. So the battle will continue on. It does interest me to see more about her. It does interest me how Deku is going to overcome this odd, but nonetheless, this whole entire chapter was so much fun. There's so many fun action. This girl just being more interesting as the chapter goes on. Deku showing a real case of development, as well as a really smart way of showcasing how a power armor can really help out in a different cases. And I really like the fact these armors are actually going to put in use. I could only see myself thinking how the future is going to look like when it comes to more upgrades and more power boosts. All around, this shows a lot of promise into this series, and I'm really getting hooked more to this arc. What a fun chapter. This whole arc is going well so far. Thus, chapter 105 gets an 8. I am planning to update more content into my YouTube channel. There's going to be a new video that is not just a chapter review, but an impression of a manga series. It should be up before the end of the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope you will leave a comment. Perhaps I will make more of use of that kind of content in the future. My thoughts are told, don't let yours on hold. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.